So we are here for week 18, 2025 TV answers. Last week, the TV map for Sunday afternoon football. And last week, for like the map and like which announce screws go which game. And it's those race your top announce screws are calling games between two playoff teams. Well, the secondary announce screws, like 2, 3, 4 week on games that are with involve a playoff team. And there are some that the bottom tiers week on that game. And that Pacific team is already locked in their seed no matter what. You know? Or just calling games that are those two teams can make playoffs. Bottom tier answers. So we have CBS early, the second tier announcers. I think it's Jay Watercon. Indianapolis Houston for that. And that is for the AFC South. If Houston win, beats Indianapolis, and then Tennessee loses to Jacksonville beats Tennessee, and Houston. If Jacksonville has to lose to Tennessee, and for Houston to win the AFC South and clinch the 3 seed. Jacksonville would clinch the 3 seed, but that's on Fox. AFC Houston. The number 1 answers. Then we have the 5th tier answers like Green Bay, Minnesota. It's already temperature. It's no surprise there. Because Green Bay is the 6th seed. Green Bay is the 7th seed, Minnesota is out of the playoffs. Green Bay, they're probably going to start playing soon. Back up. No real surprise really there. No. Minnesota, it just wants, if you're Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings, you want Jay McCarthy to play. What if you're playing against a third string, those are backups? Doesn't matter who you play against. Can you at least run the offense well? Can you be efficient? That's what you want to see, You're Green Bay, you just avoid injuries. The backups, because you might need them for, some backups. You avoid injuries, And that's why they're bringing in all the backups, but so, they might get hurt too. What do you do, You have Cleveland Nets and say Tom McCarthy, Logan Ryan. Now, usually Tom McCarthy and Ross Tucker, but I'll show you in a minute why that's not the case. Cleveland Nets and say they can't make the playoffs. Either team can. Cleveland's 4-12. Say is like 6. I want to say like 6-10. Joe Burrow out for one season. It hurt, but the CBS League window we have LH in the morning feature. Don't screw. Lecture at the regiments. No surprise there. Washington Philadelphia Kevin Hurd. Trent Green usually is with Kevin Hurd, but Trent Green is not with Kevin Hurd this week. Trent Green isn't. And you're just Andrew Gillon, Jose Gismordi. That's the fourth tier non-screw. The third tier non-screw is Philadelphia, because probably most likely Philadelphia is going to win. And it's going to be whoever in Philadelphia. Will Philadelphia be the 3 seed in the NFC, or will they be a 2 seed? If Detroit beats Chicago, that will be, and Philadelphia wins, they'll be the 2 seed. They'll be the 2 seed if Philadelphia has to win in order for them to be any chance of the 2 seed. If Chicago wins, they'll automatically be a 2 seed. Obviously, you won't know that because they're both playing at the same time. So you can't, like, hey, we can score more, I know that going into it, and maybe rest someone. No, they don't know it. And maybe for, like, so maybe in, like, their in-house, you can't mention that, like, Chicago, like, the players, the coaches, and all that stuff. They can't really mention the fans. I mean, maybe they look it up, but otherwise, you really won't know on the field, They probably can't know, so at least the game is over. Their game is over, so. And then we have, and then they're playing for a 2 or 3 seed. Philadelphia, Chicago are in the NFC. And United to Buffalo. Buffalo, it cannot win the NFC, the AFC East. They lost that with the loss to Philadelphia, and Buffalo winning. So Buffalo can still clinch a wild card, or they already have, but they're 5, 6, or 7, because they're in a 3-way tie at 11 and 5, or so. Depending what happens with them. Houston, depending what happens with the Chargers. They play Denver, so that has impact. The Chargers does about Buffalo. What they do, so does. And then Houston. We have Kansas City, because Chris Russo come on. There's 2 only from 5 teams, that's why they have the 7th-tier officers. They're really the films. Chris Lewis used to call some games on NFL Network when they had like a doubleheader years past, so I think he's with Kyle Long. He's from NFL Network too, so either Chris Lewis is a college announcer for CS. Not really sure. I believe Kyle Long is from NFL Network though. Tennessee and Jackson and injuries. And that's the future revenue. That's kind of no surprise there because their first tier game, the first tier game, let's say like the 3rd tier game in Flex or Plus. Because Jackson still can clinch the AFC South with a win over Tennessee. Jackson would have to lose and Houston would have to win in order to clinch the AFC South. I mean, Drew Brees. Then the Dallas Giants, I would say, is like the fourth. It could be like the fourth tier game. I would say more so. It's like the, Vancouver Johnson. They're getting that. They call this one. Use it with their third tier non-screws. Mainly Vancouver Johnson's fourth tier non-screw. I would say this week because Dallas has eliminated from lifts. So are my Giants. And there's going to be shown in the bare minimum areas that they have to issue in Dallas and their Giant scheme is be shown the bare minimum areas it has to be in. Or in Zelina, same thing there. Be shown like the bare minimum areas that those like Louisiana and Georgia. And that's it. Dallas will be shown like not off Texas, like the Dallas area. Areas in Texas has to be. Area in New York it has to be in. And then like New Jersey and then Christmas shows the 16-year-old screw. Those call games are weak, but close games are weeks. Give Google Johnson. And then we have mean announcers, Kimberly summary the future announcers. They call Detroit Chicago. And that is the best game probably because they figure Detroit could actually upset Chicago. In that one there's a chance. A good, not a decent, not like the best amazing chance, but like a solid chance, Detroit actually winning that one, and then Chicago making Chicago fall to the 3 seed because the 6 seed, the LA Rams, with that LA Rams lost Arizona, or they play, or excuse me, I said Arizona, but LA Rams lost to Atlanta on Monday Night Football. LA Rams did. So with the LA Rams lost to Atlanta, the LA Rams are the 6th seed. The LA Rams could have played for the 5 seed. They could have played for the 5 seed. Maybe with like tiebreakers and stuff like that. They still could have. But they have the tiebreaker over. Over but they don't own the tiebreaker over San Francisco. They won. Seattle. Well, if Seattle lost, they beat 2-1. They could have maybe had the tiebreaker with Seattle and played for the 5 seed, depending if Seattle lost. But they don't own the 5. They can't. No. They can only play for the 6 seed now. And they're going to stay in the 6 seed. There's another Rams, so that's I would say that's like the 5th. I would say that's the 4th tier game. I mean, it kind of. Other Rams are gonna play their backups in. So, I guess. Then towards Atlanta. Atlanta could factor in the playoff race because if Carolina, depending on what happens with Carolina Tampa Bay, if Tampa Bay wins, and then Atlanta wins, it would be 8-9. that would actually put, Atlanta with the three-way tiebreakers. If Atlanta was to be 8-9, and then Tampa Bay was to be 8-9, and Carolina was to be 8-9, it would give, even though Tampa Bay won, it would give Carolina the division with three tiebreakers, because it would put Carolina in first, and then Atlanta in second place in the division, and then Tampa Bay in third place in the division. Just crazy. And then Miami at New England, obviously. New England could go over Miami, so we'll see. But to me, has some meaning because if Denver plays a tough LA Chargers team, so if Denver lost to LA Chargers, then New England would be. Then if New England won and Denver lost, New England would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's if Denver lost. If Denver wins, New England, the best they can be is the 2 seed. Although if they lost to Miami and Jacksonville won, then New England could be the 3 seed with that tiebreakers and all that,